Calaroga Shark Media. Hello and welcome to Ghost. This episode is titled The Magician, the Ghost and the Kuznetsov Rings.
In the harsh expanse of Soviet-era Siberia, where the once mighty Kuznetsov family had been exiled, a story of loss and spectral vengeance unfolded. The family, previously wealthy and influential, now found themselves confined to a dilapidated mansion, a ghost of their former glory. The only remnants of their past wealth were 5 ancient golden rings, each holding a fragment of their tarnished legacy. Natalia Kuznetsov, the young, spirited heiress, lived under the heavy shadow of her family's downfall. On the eve of her 25th birthday, a day that was to mark her official inheritance of the rings, fate introduced her to Ivan Petrovich, a mysterious traveling magician whose presence in their isolated abode was as intriguing as it was unsettling. The celebration of Natalia's birthday was a grim affair, shadowed by the family's fall from grace. But the real horror unfolded the following morning. Natalia was found dead in her room, the rings missing, and her face frozen in a rictus of terror. It was as if the very soul had been frightened out of her. Whispers of curses and haunted legacies began to spread among the remaining Kuznetsovs. The rings, they said, were cursed, bringing misfortune to all who possessed them. And now, with Natalia's sudden, unexplained death, those whispers grew into chilling certainties. As the days passed, strange occurrences began to plague the mansion. Footsteps echoed in empty halls, doors creaked open on their own, and cold drafts swept through rooms, leaving behind the scent of Natalia's perfume. The family, already broken by exile, began to crumble under the weight of these ghostly manifestations. The spectral activities intensified, culminating in eerie apparitions of Natalia. She appeared at night, her ghostly figure wandering the halls, her expression one of sorrow and unspoken secrets. It was as if she was searching for something, or perhaps seeking justice. Ivan Petrovich, who had presented himself to the Kuznetsov family as a wandering magician, was indeed a man shrouded in layers of mystery and deceit. Beneath the facade of a performer with a penchant for the mystical, Ivan was driven by a far more personal and pressing mission. Unknown to the Kuznetsovs, Ivan was actually a descendant of a rival family that had been wronged by the Kuznetsovs generations ago. The feud, buried deep in history, was centered around the very same golden rings that were now believed to be cursed. Legend had it that these rings were originally stolen from Ivan's ancestors, leading to their ruin. Ivan had grown up with these tales of betrayal and loss, and they had shaped his life's purpose. He had dedicated himself to uncovering the truth about the rings and reclaiming them to restore honor to his family. His journey was not just about revenge, it was about rectifying a historical injustice. As he ingratiated himself with the Kuznetsovs under the guise of a magician, Ivan carefully observed and investigated, looking for clues and opportunities to learn more about the rings. His charade as a magician was a perfect cover, allowing him to delve into the mysteries of the mansion and the family without arousing suspicion. His skills in sleight of hand and illusion aided him in navigating this treacherous environment. Despite his initial intentions, Ivan found himself empathizing with the plight of the Kuznetsovs. The family, once powerful and proud, was now a shadow of its former self, tormented by a past that they could not escape. This unexpected empathy complicated Ivan's mission as he began to question the righteousness of his quest for revenge. As the story of Natalia's untimely death unfolded and the ghostly hauntings began, Ivan was torn between his familial duty and the sympathy he felt for the Kuznetsovs. One night, the spectral form of Natalia herself appeared before him. The ghost of Natalia, ethereal and sorrowful, materialized in a shimmer of moonlight that seeped through the frost-covered windows. Her presence was both unsettling and mesmerizing, a lingering echo of a life cut tragically short. Her eyes, filled with centuries of sadness and unspoken secrets, met Ivan's with a plea that transcended words. "I implore you!" Natalia's voice, a mere whisper yet resonant with urgency, echoed through the room. "You must lift the curse that binds me to this world. The rings, they hold a power far beyond their glittering facade. They have ensnared my soul, trapping me in an endless cycle of despair." Ivan, initially taken aback by the apparition, felt a surge of resolve. Here was his chance to make right the wrongs of the past, not just for his own family, but for the tormented spirit before him. Natalia's plea resonated with his own longing for closure and redemption. "I will help you, Natalia," Ivan promised, a sense of purpose stealing his voice. "But you must tell me everything. How did this curse come to be? How can we break it?" The ghost of Natalia, her form flickering like a candle in the wind, began to recount the tale. The rings, she explained, were not just family heirlooms, but objects of great power and dark magic. They were cursed in a moment of betrayal and vengeance long ago, a curse that had ensnared her soul upon her untimely death. "To break the curse," Natalia continued, "the rings must be returned to their rightful owner. Only then can my spirit be freed and the cycle of sorrow be broken." Ivan listened intently, the pieces of the puzzle coming together in his mind. The story of the rings was intertwined with his own family's history, a tapestry of feuds and reconciliations. He realized that in helping Natalia, he would not only be lifting a curse, but also healing the wounds of the past that had pained both their families. As the spectral form of Natalia faded into the shadows, Ivan felt a newfound determination. He knew what he had to do. Ivan, guilt-ridden and haunted by Natalia's death, confessed to the family his knowledge of the ring's cursed nature. He revealed that each ring was bound to a tragic event in the family's history, and that together they held the power to either curse or liberate. Driven by desperation, they performed an ancient ritual to break the curse. As they chanted in the flickering candlelight, the ghost of Natalia appeared, her eyes reflecting a tumult of emotions. With each ring placed in the ceremonial fire, her form flickered, the anguish on her face giving way to a serene calm. With a final sigh, like the whisper of the Siberian wind, she faded away. Her curse lifted, her spirit free. The Kuznetsov family, forever changed by the ordeal, left the mansion, leaving behind the ghosts of their past. The rings were returned to Ivan. The ghostly hauntings ceased, but the memory of Natalia and the tale of the 5 golden rings lingered in the cold Siberian air, a haunting reminder of a family's rise and fall and the redemptive power of truth and reconciliation. 35 years after the harrowing events in Siberia, Ivan now works as a seasoned magician, touring Europe with a signature act that mystifies audiences. His most famous trick involves the summoning of a spectral apparition, a ghost, with the aid of the very rings that once cursed his family. In a quiet corner of Prague, after a mesmerizing performance, Ivan sits alone in his dressing room. The once cursed rings lay before him on the table, their curse lifted, but their history ever present. As he gazes at them, a soft, ethereal glow emanates from the rings, and the faint outline of a figure appears. It's the ghost he had helped all those years ago, now a peaceful guardian rather than a tormented soul. The ghost, once a symbol of fear and tragedy, now represents a bridge between the past and present, a reminder of Ivan's journey from a desperate heir in exile to a celebrated magician. Each performance, each appearance of the ghost, serves as a tribute to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of redemption. Ivan knows that one day he will retire the act, and the ghost will finally find eternal peace.
Ghost is a Calaroga Shark Media production, written and hosted by Alexander Ian McIntyre, produced by Mark Francis, executive producers Mark Francis and John McDermott. Calaroga Shark Media.